review of the Pride merch a couple weeks ago, I had a whole second half of the video where I went through all the Hazbin Hotel ships and ranked them. But that video ended up being way too long, so I had to cut out that second part. But it's already filmed, so I figured I might as well go ahead and share it. And I'll also weigh in some from the future where I'm not so tired and overwhelmed from everything. You'll see what I mean. So this is just something I found on Sorter. Up first, Halo Snake or Jazz Rose. I mean, not ones that I've really given much thought to, honestly. I guess Jazz Rose I see a little bit more. Holy Gates! I should look at what the other one is. Radio Joy. Okay, yeah, still Holy Gates. I don't really see Radio Joy. I've seen some fan art of it, and I do think it's funny, the whole I can fix them mentality of it, but I don't really see it, so. Okay, Halo Snake or Radio Joy? Halo Snake, I guess. Original Sin, which I guess is Lucifer, Lilith, and Eve, or Flappercat. Original Sin. Husker Dust Bomb. I didn't even realize that was a thing. I mean, everything's a thing, but ooh, Velissa. I gotta go with Velissa. Ooh. Okay, so like there's two levels of it. There's like the level of, this is one I see happening in the past, but I'm not enthusiastic about shipping it. This one I think is really cute. I'll go with Velissa. Original Sin. I mean, this has Husker Dust in it, so. I just don't see Cherry as actually being part of their relationships, so. Halo Snake, I guess. I don't see Mimsy and Husk. I just don't see it. Dang, okay. I did not think about how difficult this would be with ones that I just like, I don't see it. I don't see either of these, so. I'm also like, I don't like a lot of Alistair ships. And despite saying that, I still chose Radio Joy, which I actually disagree with. But in my defense, I was really overwhelmed with all of this, and for a lot of these, when it's two ships that I'm kind of neutral on, it's really difficult to choose. Don't get me wrong, my sorting still turned out pretty good. There's just a few ships that I would move around, and I'm not going to chime in with every single decision I now disagree with, but this is definitely where I started to go wrong a little bit. I don't like either of these. I guess Rainbow Snake over Spider Moth. I like keeping Vaggie is a lesbian and Angel is gay. Okay, so Velvet's another one where I'm like, she's a lesbian, I can't see her as anything else. I love Moth Doll as friends. Al Mimsy, I love one-sided. I love it just on Mimsy's side. So I'll say Al Mimsy. This ship is actually a possibility now. Now that I know that Abel's straight, a part of me is kind of like, oh, I kind of see this now. Where before I didn't really think anything of it because I was just like, Abel's gay. We don't know anything about this girl. I can't be passionate about this ship really. And I love Vaggie and Charlie. I'm not a multi-shipper is the thing. Like once I lock onto a couple, I like them together and I have a hard time separating that to ship them with anyone else. Sarah Milla, what's it? Okay, yeah. Sarah Milla. Al Mimsy just because one-sided. Sure. The Fallen Wings more than Moth Doll. I don't see Lute as a lesbian, and I don't see Velvet as anything but a lesbian. Okay, we're officially on to the different kind of difficult. Holy Gates or Sarah Milla. I love both of these. I really love both of these. I'm going with Sarah Milla. Velissa, I guess. Again, this one's one-sided for me. This one's just in the past for me. VCR, that's the first I've heard of this, but I kind of like it. You know, I kind of see it. I'm not really big into Static Eel. Like, I'm not against it, but there are better Vox ships. Static Moth over Radio Rose. Static Dust over Adam's Apple, absolutely. Zismilla. I do not like Lucifer and Adam. I don't. I'm sorry, Adam's Apple shippers. I don't like Jagaster. This one has Lilith and Eve, so that makes it a little better. Ooh, which do I ship more between Static Moth and Zesmilla? Static Moth I have an interesting relationship with. I don't enthusiastically ship it, but I enjoy certain parts of it, and I recognize that they deserve each other. But the problem is, Vox is my favorite character, and Valentino's my least favorite character. So while I recognize that objectively they deserve each other because they're both terrible people, Vox can do better. I don't care. Vox can do better. They have their cute moments. They do. They really do. But I am gonna say Static Moth for this. Zesmilla. I'm not really into Static Dust, but as far as ships I don't actively ship go, Static Dust is like at the top of ships I don't ship. Because I like them as friends. I really, really like Static Dust friendship. So probably Static Dust. Radio Rose, my problem with it is that I see Rosie as a mother to Alistair. I still like it more than Apple Core though. Well, there's no question. Apple TV, Static Apple, all the way. Okay. Well, Velmilla is better than whatever that is. Apple TV. I don't really ship Velmilla, but again, Velvet, very lesbian coded to me. I'm gonna prefer Static Doll to that. Baxtius or Holy Blades, I'll go with Baxtius just because friends to enemies to lovers is my absolute favorite trope and they could fit into that. So therefore I have to ship them a little bit. Radio V's or Mad Maid. Okay, see, I love Radio V's in a not shipping way. I just love Alistair's dynamic with them. I love Mad Maid. I don't think I really see Sarah Pent. I'm gonna go with Radio V's. I prefer Mad Maid. I definitely like Static Apple more than Static Moth. And Mad Maid. Baxtius. I think I prefer Static Dust a little more. Yeah, I prefer this arrangement for Velvets. See, I could see Static Eel in the way of Vox basically just using his assistants, but not as like an actual relationship. Because I can somewhat see it, I'll say that. I guess I see Radio Rose more. Two things I really do not ship. Okay, which one do I prefer? I don't see Lucifer and Adam. I'd prefer Lucifer with Adam than with Alistair, so yeah. Actually, no. I'm inundated with so much Radio Apple stuff that sometimes I just get this gut instinct to go against it because I'm so tired of seeing it. And I realize this isn't Radio Apple, it's Hell Radio, but it's still Alistair and Lucifer, so it garners the same response. Static Apple. Ooh, Sarah Miller or Mad Maid. I think Mad Maid, but Sarah Miller. Holy Gates. Probably Baxtius. Static Moth. I'm gonna be cutting out a lot of this. That's hard. Okay, I can kind of see a world where both of these work. I still don't know how I feel about Chaggly. I just love Chaggy so much as is. I don't know how I feel about adding Emily into the mix. I'll go with Emily. Chaggy. Love Bug or Static Bell? That's a good question. I don't ship either. Once again, but I see Static Bell more. My problem with Static Bell is, as I said, I'm not really a multi-shipper, and I ship Vox with Lucifer. So, to me, that's his stepdaughter. Like, I see why people ship it, I really do, because Charlie's so similar to Lucifer, I absolutely see why people ship it. But that's his stepdaughter. Gotta go Static Bell. I'm sorry, Radio Apple shippers. I'm gonna get so much hate. Oh my. I apologize, Radio Apple shippers. I do not ship it. I do not see it. I do not like it. Huh. Interesting. Okay, Charlie's Exorcist or Radio Dust? This one. Trench Joy or Pratchett? I think Pratchett. Lucy Lith is an interesting one for me. I don't ship it for endgame. I ship it as in a piece of Lucifer's past. But I probably ship it more than Pratchett. Vox with his stepdaughter or Lucifer with his ex? Which do I do? I see Static Bell as the problem. I think I see Radio Dust more. I don't know why I answered Radio Dust. I literally had this thought in bed the night before filming this of, will Radio Apple be at the bottom of my list? No, because there's things like Radio Dust that I ship even less than Radio Apple. And yet I still picked Radio Dust? I don't know, I must have been just like tired and my brain stopped working. That's the only explanation. Ooh, Husker Dust versus Chaggy is tough, but I think I gotta go with Husker Dust. I like Angel Gay, but there's literally only one person I ship Alistair with. Otherwise, I do not see Alistair with anyone. He's with Vox or no one. Gotta go Charlie Dust. A ship I have blacklisted on my tags versus this one that I at least see this one in the past. I hate that. Eve Lith more than Adam and Lilith. See, I don't think Adam and Lilith work together like in any capacity. That being said, Cherry Snake! Apple Media. Apple Media. As long as Apple Media is up there, that's gonna be super easy for me. Okay, I think I gotta prefer Radio Husk. Again, I would ship Polyvise a lot more if it weren't for the fact that Velvet's just a lesbian in my mind and I can't switch that. But I will pick Polyvise, I think. I just feel like Charlie and Emily are too similar. I think Emily would work better with Vaggie than with Charlie. Ooh, Radio Silence is also on here. Interesting. I'm going with this one. Glamsphere or Flower Tunes? You know what? I see it. Maybe I do headcanon Ludus by. I don't know. Flower Tunes, I'm guessing that's Adam and Eve, which is kind of, you know, the original ship. Holy Halo Gates isn't something I've given a lot of thought to, because I headcanon both Abel and St. Peter as gay. So I was just like, Emily doesn't fit in there. But now I'm a little more open to it. It's fitting doing this after the Pride merch drop, because it's definitely making me rethink some things. I think Velvet and Loot would be cute though. I think I might actually be jumping on board that ship, which means I might be now headcanoning Loot as bi and homophobic. Poly V is better than Radio Silence. Better than Radio Silence. Apologies if you hear my dog barking. I think my husband just got home. Okay, I don't like Radio Silence that much. I only like it in the context of Alistair doesn't realize his feelings. Or even his feelings are purely platonic. That's okay too. But not complete silence. That radio is not silent. Even my husband, who doesn't ship Radio Static, says that the Don't You Forget reprise, that is not silence on Alistair's parts. There is way too much sexual tension. I think I prefer it to Guitar Princess. Oh no. I don't like this. Gotta go with Apple Media. Vox needs both his boys. Ooh, Husker Dust versus Cherry Snake. I love both of these so much. See, season 1, I would have said Husker Dust, but I love Pinches so much. And Piss is so good. It's really close, guys. It's really, really close. I think I am going with Husker Dust. I think I ship Cherry Snake a little more than Shaggy. I'm like getting really on board this Glam Spear ship that I didn't even consider before. Man, there are so many ships in this thing. Oh, I hate it. 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 I hate that's making me click it, is what I really hate. Okay, which one of these Alistair ships do I dislike least? I really don't like Radio Dust, but at the same time, I like the whole, like, Alistair would be the one person who doesn't, like, objectify Angel. I mean, Husk doesn't either. But you know what I mean. Because he's ace, there's a different level to that. Radio Husk has a lot of toxic possibility, which I like my Alistair ship toxic in the one Alistair ship that I ship. Let's go toxic. Both make me uncomfortable. I'll go with Charlie Alistair. Again, Vox having both of them is better than him just having one of them, so I gotta go with Apple Media. And here we have the one that's going to kill me. Oh. I know Apple Media is my #1 ship, but these two, oh, I love them both so much. Like I said, I'm not a multi-shipper. That's why I ship Apple Media so much, just without Radio Apple, without any Radio Apple involvement, as a Poly V with Vox having both of them. But as for which one of these two I ship more, depends on my mood. I think I do have to go Radio Static, simply because they are soulmates. Like, I can write Radio Static where Vox and Lucifer never interact, so that it's purely Radio Static. But it's harder to write Static Apple because Alistair's going to be there in the background. He's such a big part of Vox's past, and I can't separate that, so it's nearly impossible for me to write just Static Apple, because Alistair's gonna come in and get all jealous and make a big deal out of it, make everything about him. So yeah, I guess Radio Static. Ooh, Mad Maid or Chaggy. I really like both of them, but I think Chaggy. Glam Spear or Static Moth? I am getting into Glam Spear, like today, right now. Who I really ship Velvet with is Veronica, but I don't think she's on here. Static Dust or Static Bell? I think I prefer Radio Rose to Radio Silence. Do I? Oh, it's so weird. Okay, Radio Silence. There have been 335 of these. Dang, I thought this would be a quick little thing to finish out the video. Is it better or worse having Lilith involved? That's the question. It's a little better with Lilith. Okay, whew, that was a lot. So my thoughts on this final list, now that I've had some time to actually think it over, 1 through 10 are definitely the ones that I fully 100% ship. Surprise, surprise, my top 3, Apple Media, Radio Static, Apple TV. I am shocked. The Husker Dust, Cherry Snake, Chaggy, Mad Maid, Sarah Milla, Holy Gates, Guitar Spear. 1 through 18 are ships that I'm on the fence of. I see them working or think they'd be cute together, but I'm not 100% on board for one reason or another. Baxtius, Glam Spear, the thing that just came out of nowhere and overtook this thing. Holy Halo Gates, Static Moth, Zest Milla. Those are my top 15. Felissa, Imali.
My camera died for a second, but next up is Chaggly.
19 through 37 are what I'm calling in another universe ships. They're things that I would maybe maybe ship if I was a multi-shipper, and things that I just see potential for. Or in the case of Al Mimsy, I ship it one-sided only.
Royal Velvets, Immolutes, Flower Tunes, Charlie's Angels, Evelith, Static Dust.
Did I say VCR more than Static Eel? That's interesting. Well, Static Eel, Original Sin, Al Mimsy, one-sided, Sarah Purd, Fallen Clouds, which I'm just apathetic on because we know nothing about that girl. I believe that maybe at one point Vaggie and her had a thing, but I don't know who she is. Jazz Rose, Vilmilla, Radio V's, Fallen Wings, Husker Dust Bomb, Static Bell. Okay, 36 is good for Static Bell. Lucylith. Oh yeah, Static Bell and Lucylith being right next to each other, that makes a lot of sense. I do think this section is where the ranking starts to get a little bit off, which makes sense because this is when we're getting closer to the neutral territory. I would move Static Dust to the top of this section above Royal Velvets. And I would move Immolute, Flower Tunes, and Charlie's Angels to the end of this section and move Husker Dust Bomb right behind them. Then that would flow nicely into 38 through 47, which are the ships that I'm just neutral on. The exception being Poly V's, because this is definitely the one that is the most out of place, and I don't know how exactly that happened. I haven't finished reviewing all of the footage yet at the time of filming this. I would move this up to right behind Radio V's, because this is definitely more of an In Another Universe ship that I would get behind if I could fathom Velvet not being a lesbian. Pratchett, Trench Joy, Lovebug, Charlie's Exorcist, Halo Snake, Speak Era, Fallen Fashion, Poly V's, Royal Halo, Charlotte. Now 48 is the start of I don't see this ship at all. Guitar Princess, Adolith, Radio Silence is down at 50, Radio Rose, Serapent, Apple Core, Rainbow Snake, Holy Blades, Static Doll, Charlie Dust, and 58 is the start of I don't like this ship, with a few exceptions because some of this section got really mixed around. Vilangel, so that's still really low down, that's good. Adam's Apple, Radio Joy, Flappercat. How's Flappercat below Vilangel? Sarah Spear, Moth Doll, Radio Husk, Chagaster, Spider Moth, Tralister, Radio Dust, Hell Radio, Radio Apple at the very bottom. First of all, I would move Sarah Spear and Moth Doll up to right below Static Doll. And I would move Flappercat to above Vilangel so that they are all still in the I just don't see this ship category. Now, within this section, I would move Spider Moth below Radio Husk, with Hell Radio and Radio Apple right below that, so that they are all above Chagaster. Because as much as I do dislike Radio Apple, I see more potential for it above these other Alistair ships. Like I said, I'm a picky Alistair shipper. I literally can only see him with Vox. Okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I honestly didn't expect Radio Apple to be at the very bottom, so I would make a few changes to this list, but overall, I do feel like it's pretty good. What's your favorite ship? Let me know in the comments. Well, that's it for today. Until next time, stay hyper.